This is an update from the 22nd of the 10th to the 23rd of the 10th, 2023. Last night there was a few things that were shouted to attack me, to knife me down, to say that it's too late, you're not going to be moving, and that you're going to be injected with HIV and doing that stupid ha ha ha, saying that you're Saven and whatever else. At 3 AM to 6 AM, just persistent banging, not in the way of suggestive noises, say I'm breaking in and doing that, though it did occur in time period I woken up, so I can't say for sure what it was happening when I was asleep, but it was going on persistent. I woke up 4 times between 3 and 6 AM and it was occurring constant, so whatever was going on I do not know, but it was not good. But luckily I was asleep to avoid this issue, and I just couldn't be bothered to get up to record it because I was so knackered and just wasn't in the mood for being pissing about with that at that time. I thought I just want to get that sleep. Yesterday the end of the cycle finished for the home finder bidding, so I got first position because nobody on emergency banding bidded. It's because they bidded on other properties, so that means I was the highest priority, so I'm actually on the top. And because I was the first bidder out of everybody on that banding, means that I should be entitled to all 3 of those properties, one of those 3 properties. It's very rare that you get first position on 3 properties altogether. You're lucky to get 1, but I have 3, all 3 I was on first position, so I thought, yeah, that's okay. Well, when I woke up this morning, I had it says it's not prioritised for me on all 3, and I thought, what's going on there? So I went to photograph the evidence, showed the family on Facebook and whatever else, and did the other thing, and I noticed something else. I went to put the information on Avon and Somerset Constabulary's Facebook message box, and they blocked me. Both Avon and Somerset Constabulary and Avon, South Somerset Neighbourhood Yeovil Police Team or something like that. Both of those have blocked me from messaging on their Facebook. When I went down to the staff office this morning, the noise that occurred when I was asleep, I was actually being accused for. So, and then another one that I mentioned said there's been no reports by any other neighbours of any noise at all. So that's interesting. So yeah, I noticed also had the eye problem which occurred last night in the one eye, and it sounded like one of the neighbours was actually saying that he's not going to be moving because he's a child rapist and there's a school next to where he wants to move to, which I found interesting. But I have noticed that the surname of that neighbour that doesn't like me, the surname to his girlfriend, is actually the same surname to one of the ladies that works at Homes in Sedgemoor, Somerset County Council in Bridgewater and Somerset. As far as going out today is concerned, I've been photographed 4 times being mistaken as Saven, being told that I'm going to lose my life and being shot dead and bashed in or smashed out with a knife or whatever on child rapist grounds or women beater grounds or whatever, that sort of stuff. It does include what I just said, but in different ways of saying it and different threat from different person, basically from the 4 people. I've had roughly 6 people try and photograph me. There's been 3 people coughing and sneezing towards my face, and there's been about just under 50 phone calls that have occurred in my direction. Also, there's been a load of colliding of cars on that specific road, and setups to say, tell me I'm that sick and that grey, white, or black and blue, that red and whatever else in that malicious aggressive suggestion. Couple of animal voice sounds, and several loud bites tied to an erection, and that covers the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes I've been out. Well, I've done this recording about 20 fucking times now, but you know, the creator's just a wrist-slicing cunt, and God is just fucking coarse, trying to fucking fuck up my speech, fuck up what I'm trying to say, screwing my mind up so I can't get my fucking speech out properly. Well, I've been to the fucking council, and I'll tell you what the fucking result is of the bidding system and why I haven't won those bids, yeah? Well, they can't actually say as fucking such, can they? But what happened was, is they were whispering to each other while I was in the in the waiting area, and what they're whispering is to say that there's a police notice next to my channel for the home finder to say that the police think I'm a dangerous paedophile, and that where I'm rehoused cannot be aware where there's a load of children. And I thought, that's fucking cheek, innit? And I thought to myself, well, considering I've never had sex in my whole life, apart from being sexually abused as a child and never had sex with children or whatever, I'm being treated like a sick cunt. So there we are. And I'm 42 years of age and not had sex. And you've got to also take into account that everyone looks like an old fogey at my age, or they go into attraction where they look like a granny. So basically they sexually crucified me and got away with sexual murder. So that means the creator God's turned. It means I'm a sick cunt if I go with anyone that looks like people that raped me as a child. It means I'm a sick cunt if I look at anybody the age Jesus Christ when he was crucified, let alone when he was in a relationship with Mary Magdalene. And it means I'm a sick cunt if I look at anyone that's basically had sex under the age of 35. So that means everyone in the world that's had sex under the age of 35 is a sick bastard, a real sick cunt, any sex at all. Right, let's get to the next problem, shall we? When I left the council, they basically told me that you need to contact the people higher up in the council that work with the banding system to find out what's going on there, or to get a support or social worker to look into the situation. When I left, I noticed that their faces dropped, and they basically said, well, you better go now, aren't you? You better go. Something like that. I can't remember the wording, but it's like that, and it's a bit sarcastic, and just looked very sad at me, and as if they're not very happy. Basically, while I was walking there and walking back through Nine Springs Woodland, the setups are off the fucking scale. Just nailing me as a sick cunt, aggressively saying that you've raped children and you are going to pay the price for it. You're going to get smashed in, you're going to get knifed, you are going to end up dead, you're going to fucking end up gunned down or whatever. And I thought to myself, well, that's right, lie about me and enforce all this action without getting the facts right first. Why not? Like they've done for the last 25 years or so. So anyway, drain covers hit over. There's been about 10 to 15 people that have thrown threats at me, mistaking me as Sven, and roughly about the same amount of people have photographed me, basically to smash me in, to knife me dead, to get someone to shoot me down, to claim this and that on sexuality when I've never had anyone, and so on. And then obviously there's been coughing and sneezing towards my face several times, and I've been choked out by a catalytic converter that smells like raw eggs, rotten raw vinegar, and the smell of rubbing two knives together with cress in the middle of it, except the strength of the smell is about 50 plus times stronger. So we've had all that, and then we've had other problems as well, so that's an update for that bit. I forgot to mention that in the council, when they were whispering to each other, they were also saying that I was dangerous to women, could harm a woman basically, at the same time as calling me a child molester and whatever else, considering none of this is fucking true. Just before I did this recording, a seagull said, you raped Stephanie, and having a break-in now, and a bird has just tweeted, being knifed dead, Justin, or something like that. Bird tweets, total loony, just no one left. It's 3 hours ago since I've done the last recording, and obviously it's blue skies and sunshine as the government intended, so not too happy about that, because it's not since June or July that there's actually been a full cloudy day, and a full cloudy rainy day. And to my knowledge, I can't even actually remember there being a full cloudy rainy day in June either, or July. I know most of the day was on one of the days, or what month, but I can't remember when it was. Apart from the 1st of October, where you had about half a day, if that, of cloud, and a couple, I can't remember where it was in September, but I think it was the 17th of September, I can't remember, for the first part of the morning. Well, and what I mentioned, otherwise it's been sunny every day. I've not been able to get photos and not been able to do nothing because of this. They just won't stop it. It's the weather they want. The government like it, blue skies and sunshine, and that's what they're doing this evening. And they've just diverted me and forced me out of a direction I wanted to go into, telling me that I'm sick. So I've got to go with the fact that I'm sick when I've never had anyone, to change directions. And then when I change directions, they tie me look like to someone who sexually abused me as a child, look-alike. An very old person, tied to an erection, with a crow ha and saying you're being knifed down. So that's the power of Jesus Christ for you. While doing this recording, I didn't realise that someone was photographing me, and then I had a severe threat after I put the camera down and put it in my pocket. I'm next to a country lane road. They know I'm next to a country lane road, so they need to set up a load of windows to check me out to tell me that I'm sick and I'm great. So there's been about 30 loud bikes to erections in the last 15 minutes. We've had someone say sicko just. Someone said Savan, as they thought I was Savan when they passed. The blue cars hurt me. Choked by catalytic converter control. You're fucking gone, you paedophile said. Crow ha. Just child rapist by Crow. and there's a few other things as well. I'm being choked out by a catalytic converter in particular. They just slammed a load of loud bikes tied to an erections, and one of the bikes is revving, is stabbing you with a HIV needle just, but it gets better because I just walked past someone who looks like a person that sexually abused me as a child, says I'm a sick cunt and being injected with HIV. The government are going fucking rampage off the fucking scale with these setups. That's what's to come walking home from where I've just been. Loud bike outbreak, choked by catalyst, black white tined, AA car tined and sexual car on that piece of road which I mentioned regular, where there's never more than where they've been timing the car every single time I reach here in both directions since February this year. Basically, the one I tell you where the roads should be quiet. How does walking back look? Well, colliding cars 4 times on the stretch. I had 8 incidents the other day that I mentioned, trying to smash me to pieces. Take into account it's dark. 6 rough crowds, 9 people, rough pipe type people put in my direction, started cars, 2 nasty rapist child abuser threats, 200 cars roughly in total, and 4 loud bikes to erections with trains smashed over, and struggling to walk back home on the last 130 feet, something like that, due to excessive setups and loads of people basically, and started cars and drain covers hit over and being choked out obviously.